Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. I know you probably might have seen all these videos flying around, and that also boils down to where Black women said they would rather work with white men than white women because white women are very problematic when it comes to working with Black women, discharging their duties and all that. So there is this video of Curly Rowland where she was on stage, I think red carpet and all that, doing her job because she was actually doing her job as a celebrity, right? And the security personnel got on her nerves. I mean, you can see that she was trying so hard to control herself to be professional, but at some point, I mean, the woman actually put her body, her hands on her and all that, they were trying to hush her out from the carpet. And she said, I saw other people too, people that do not look like me. I saw them also there taking pictures. Nobody spoke to them. Nobody talked to them. How come she wanted to push me off the stage and all that? And after the whole thing, and then she had another interview, which was yesterday, where she said that it is only the security personnel and her that knew what happened. And I hope she learned, the security personnel, I hope she learned her lesson and all that. This is the problem Black women most especially are facing in workplaces and all that. It is not funny. But then this is what that's why if you ask them, they will tell you they would rather work with white men than work with white women. Let's get into this.
Y'all are gonna learn to leave my girl Kelly Rowland alone. Yesterday, Kelly Rowland was on the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival just trying to get her looks off, and deservedly so. And was annoyingly rushed up the carpet. Now listen, I don't know if these are the rules, but I know they could have done better about it. But even after that, my girl was not bothered. She took a few more pictures and then made her way up the stairs until this woman decides to come out of nowhere, thus beginning the second shooing up the carpet. Kelly posed a little more, kept it cute, but clearly making a point that she was gonna pose and take pictures. You're going to see in the video I'm about to show you that she keeps kind of touching Kelly's arm, and then some of the reports say she accidentally stepped on the dress. I couldn't really see that, but anyway, I am this woman right here, okay? Because this lady is doing too much. Page 6 is saying, she said, do not talk to me like that. You're not my mother. Don't talk to me like that. And it's definitely giving that. Anyway, I just know Calendria is not bothered. And why would you be if you look like this?
So can we talk a little bit about Kelly Rowland and what happened to her on the red carpet? What happened to her is the same thing that happened to Jasmine Crockett on the congressional floor. What that security guard did to Kelly Rowland is the same thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene attempted to do to Jasmine Crockett. Black women are constantly having to deal with this nonsense in the workplace. Now, don't get me wrong, it's everywhere we go, but it's particularly in the workplace. And the reason why I say that is that's because that is the place where white women have more contact with us, more access to us. Because honestly, most of us don't F with y'all in the real world. And this is why. Now, if you buy into patriarchy, patriarchy says that black women belong at the bottom. White men are on top, and then you've got all your other social groups falling into place and into order, and then down at the very bottom are black women. And so everyone thinks that they should be able to control a black woman. Doesn't matter who we are or what we have managed to accomplish in our lives, everyone feels entitled to have agency over black women. And that is what you saw happening between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jasmine Crockett. And it's what you saw happen between Kelly Rowland and that security guard who felt like she was in a position to have authority over Kelly Rowland. This kind of a thing happens to black women more so in the workplace when we are attempting to do our jobs. And the reason why that is because that is the time when white women have the most access to us. Now, because society feels like black women are on the bottom and that everyone else should be able to control us, there are two social groups that we get that from the most. That is black men and white women. Now, we know that Black men and white women tend to move similarly because despite white women being here on the patriarchy totem pole, black men are down here with us. But like white women, black men are removed from the top of the patriarchy by only 1 degree. White women by gender and black men by race. Now this is the point where I'm going to slide in. Not all. For those of you all who are hypersensitive, and for those of you all who feel inclusive in what I'm saying for one reason or another. Black men feel entitled to control black women because they control nothing else. And we are their counterparts, their racial counterparts. And because we are female, patriarchy. And white women feel entitled to control us because even when they couldn't own property, land, homes, bank accounts, they could own black women. We were the one thing that was theirs to control. This is another reason why you don't have to explain racism or history to white people. They get it. Because so many of them still lean into those ideologies to this very day. It is why when a black woman tells them not to touch her, they still feel very much entitled to do so anyway, whether it be her hair or her person. And then when black women stand up for ourselves and make it very clear that we are not yours to control, patriarchy, misogyny, sexism, and racism are weaponized against us in an attempt to control us or regain control. Black women also have the right to bodily autonomy. Black women also have the right to self-agency. And you not understanding that as a black man, a white man, a Latino woman, an Asian man, or a white woman is a personal problem that you need to work out between you and whatever God you serve. It is not up to black women to teach you to keep your hands and your words to yourself. We are not your mammies.
So, I wanted to talk about Kelly Rowland being like escorted off to the side at the Cannes Festival, right? And I think it's bigger than just her, having to go off on the security, because you see other celebrities didn't get that same treatment. Someone like Heidi Klum got to take up space and take her pictures in the middle of the steps. And as soon as Kelly was going up the steps, they're trying to escort her off to the side. She tries to stop and take the pictures. They're trying to rush her up the steps. And it's like, why not that same energy for anybody else that isn't black? You know what I mean? And not only that, I think we're in a season where we're seeing Kelly speak up for herself a lot more. And I think that's great because she comes from that media training with Destiny's Child where, they're very graceful and classy and, you don't really see them catch attitudes and they really express themselves more in the music. But sometimes people really be trying her like she's not Kelly Rowland, and I can understand so many years. Well, I mean, not me, but I'm just saying, I can understand her being frustrated with people constantly bringing up Beyonce in interviews, like she not working on her own stuff. And I get it because Beyonce don't do interviews. So they're like, oh, you're the closest thing. And I see why Solange, in her solo career, she didn't really collaborate with Beyonce a whole lot. And I feel like it's so she can establish herself as an artist because she see what they going through with people constantly bringing her up. I mean, they probably still do that with her, but I can imagine it's a lot for Kelly. And now we're seeing her, assert herself and say, no, I'm here to talk about what I'm doing. Much love to my girl, but this is about me. And I love that for her. And people need to show her more respect.
And another thing, Kelly Rowland said what she said. As she mentioned, she has boundaries. And she's going to do everything that she needs to do to make sure she protect those boundaries. Now, I'm not saying everything she said verbatim, but I'm basically just summing everything up. She stood on business and she stood on what she said. And she also mentioned that there was other women there that wasn't her color, that was not treated the way that she was treated. And as she mentioned, the security guard felt how she felt and Kelly felt how she felt. But what you're not going to do is overstep people's boundaries. Okay? It doesn't matter how you like or dislike them. They are her boundaries. And she has every right to stand on them. It doesn't matter who you are. She is human just like us. But what y'all not going to do is sit here and try to drag her through the daggone mud like she this bad person. That's what we're not going to do. Y'all be so quick to want to counsel and so quick to downgrade us. And it just don't make no sense. But I also was able to learn that where she was at, I believe she was in France. And I was able to do a little bit more research. And once I did my research, I learned everything that I needed to know. Everything makes sense. But when she spoke on what happened, you could just look in her eyes and just tell that she was just hurt by the disrespect, but she kept it together. She did, and I'm really proud of her. She said what she needed to say. She checked what needed to be checked. She spoke on what happened in a very respectful way, but the eyes tell it all. It tell it all. But I'm still Team Kelly.
People be so pressed to paint black women as angry black women despite having valid reasons for frustration. Please, let's chit chat. Yesterday, we all saw the pictures of Calendria getting in this security guard's earth, rightfully so. And some of y'all never took the moment to say, oh my God, we have known Kelly since she was 9.
Kelly Rowland is breaking her silence on what happened on the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival. And she's saying she stood her ground. So if you've been under a rock, everyone has been trying to figure out what exactly did Kelly Rowland say to this usher or security on the Cannes Film Festival red carpet. And a lot of people deciphered that she was like, don't talk to me like that. Well, take a look at what Kelly has to say about the incident.
The woman knows what happened. I know what happened. And I have a boundary. And I stand by those boundaries. And that is it. And there were other women that attended that carpet who did not quite look like me. And they didn't get there scolded or pushed off or told to get off. And I stood my ground. And she felt like she had to stand hers, but I stood my ground. And that's it.
Kelly Rowland finally came out and made a statement about what happened at the Cannes Festival. Watch this.
The woman knows what happened. I know what happened. And I have a boundary. And I stand by those boundaries. And that is it. And there were other women that attended that carpet who did not quite look like me. And they didn't get there scolded or pushed off or told to get off. And I stood my ground. And she felt like she had to stand hers, but I stood my ground.
Oh my gosh, like the look in her eyes, she looks so sad. She looked like she's like holding back tears. I mean, I can't say I can't believe she got treated like that because I don't understand it. Like the whole world just hates black people so much. It's like, I want to know what we did. And I feel like we didn't do anything. It's just that we exist and people just want us to disappear for simply existing. Treating Kelly like she was nobody. Kelly Rowland is not a nobody. She's not like some new person on the block. She's been around. People know who she is. That woman should have been fired. And I'm not shocked that she's not fired because you know how palm-colored people are. Treat black people like shit, and there are no repercussions. All I know is that woman better not step foot into the U.S. and act like that.
So Kelly Rowland finally spoke about the situation that happened at the Cannes Festival on the red carpet where she cursed at that white lady. And she literally looked like she was on the brink of tears. This is my problem with society. When a black woman speaks up for themselves, they're seen as aggressive, entitled, a bitch, a prima donna, a diva, X, Y, and Z, like people are doing with Kelly right now. People are taking up for this lady saying, oh, it must be crazy doing your job and getting cursed out. Oh, Kelly's just being self-entitled. Oh, she's just doing this. She's just being a diva. She's too uppity. She's da-da-da-da-da. And then people are saying it's because she's a black woman. And then you have white people, not all white people, but you have white people saying, oh, well, y'all make everything about race. You want to know why? Because white people make everything about race. Don't believe me, that's not my opinion, that's pure fact. Go refer to your latest history book, any book that will tell you otherwise. White people make everything about race. But when we respond, then they try to do the reverse psychology like we're making everything about race. Y'all are literally going to ignore that the other actresses, the other celebrities, the other females that were on that same carpet before Kelly that were white were able to walk up those steps, take their pictures, take their time, pose for this camera, pose for that camera without nobody rushing them. No time limit, nobody was rushing them. They was able to take their time and move gracefully. There wasn't even other people on the carpet with them. Soon as Kelly stepped on that carpet, she's walking up the steps. She can't even walk in a straight line because if you watch the video, as she's walking up, you have somebody blocking her right here. Somebody coming up right here. You have another guy blocking her again, so she has to move to this side. She kind of has to constantly go to the right because she has people that's guiding her off the fucking steps. Mind you, as soon as she steps on the fucking steps, here comes the lady rushing her up behind. Bitch, don't rush me. She's trying to take pictures and you're rushing her up the steps so fast that you step on her dress. And you're doing this so aggressively where your other counterparts are literally checking you. But notice all the people that's taking the side of the white lady, who is really the one that's being entitled. And that is the ironic part about this whole thing. Everything that y'all are saying that Kelly is actually what the white woman was doing. She was acting like a diva. She was acting like very self-entitled. Who are you to go push somebody off the fucking carpet? And don't come up in my comments saying that it ain't about race, when you can literally go back and look at the entire red carpet and see how Kelly was treated versus the white ladies that were right before her. Don't say that nobody... And then, and last part, I don't know where... Because I've been seeing this comment a lot, where white people were talking about like her blonde hair and that she's like trying to be white. Yeah, I did the same thing with Beyonce. I don't know who needs to tell people this, but white people, you do not own blonde hair. You do not own a hair color, okay? There are plenty of ethnic groups, race of people that can grow blonde hair naturally.
Kelly Rowland did an interview explaining what happened to her at the Cannes Festival, and this is yet another example of what black women have to deal with in their professional careers. If you're unfamiliar, Kelly Rowland had to get a red carpet worker together after the red carpet worker not only stepped on her dress, but was pushing her to get through the red carpet as Rowland was trying to take photos. Take a listen to what Rowland had to say about the incident.
The woman knows what happened. I know what happened. And I have a boundary. And I stand by those boundaries. And that is it. And there were other women that attended that carpet who did not quite look like me. And they didn't get there scolded or pushed off or told to get off. And I stood my ground. And she felt like she had to stand hers, but I stood my ground.
Notice how she said there were several other women on that carpet that didn't quite look like me, that didn't get scolded or pushed off, such as Heidi Klum and several of these other women, but we didn't see any incidents here. We didn't see security pushing them up the stairs. Why is that? And I could honestly hear the frustration in Kelly's voice because on one hand, as a black woman, as established as she is, like, you never know how the media is going to take and spin your response to blatant disrespect, which that is what it was. But I'm so glad she stood her ground, because one thing you're not going to do is play in Miss Kelly Rowland's face, period.
So this is all I got from this. And looking at the video was trending all through the week, right? And she made another appearance, the one she wore green, and she actually said what she said. And I love the fact that she has boundaries. and she stood up for herself. That is another great thing, because there are some people this will be happening to, like, in front of everybody, and they wouldn't say anything. I love the fact that she was able to talk about it. And it's really sad that people are just going to disrespect people for no just reason. There were also, she wasn't rude, but not until she kept touching her. Like, why do you even have to hold her or touch her, trying to walk her away from doing? I mean, she was there to do her job, pose, take pictures, and all that. So why were they not allowing her to do that and trying to walk her off should I say the stage or something? Which at some point, I think I saw the frustration, because, and she told her, do not touch me, you are not my mother, right? And she was, some of the pictures you saw, you probably will see where they blocked her from, like, she was trying to take pictures and they blocked her, just to tell you how rude they were. And then this thing also, like, it looks like this man has been this, it's all about Bear and the man. And at the same time, white women in workplaces with black women. Black women, they already made it clear that they cannot find it very hard, most especially working with white women, that they would rather work with white men than white women. And you all can actually see the reasons why they chose that. And white women were all angry and mad. A lot of them knew already, because I see videos of where most of them are saying that in most places of work, that they are the real problem, because they are very nosy when it comes to them doing their jobs, or when it comes to when they see someone that is better than them or better off of them and all that, they will not want to give you peace. Or once they just do not click with you, all they want to do is frustrate you. And I don't know, but people really differs. And I think there are ways, especially when it comes to workplace and organizations and all that, when you already know yourself, allow us, I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but like, when you are working with people, work should be work. Remove emotional feelings, attachment, and all that. Everything should be kept aside while you execute your job professionally. And do not let feelings, do not let personal, private discussions or private things interfere where you are working. But some of them are not that professional enough. Their feelings or how they feel at a particular point about you, or how you walked, or how you talked, or how you stepped out, or how you even drank water, will still bother them. And they will all include all that in part of the thing that you have done to them and all that, and probably start making it hard for the person to work with them and the rest of it. Black women really work so hard to be wherever they are now, or like, I know most top celebrities, or not even top, the ones in professional organizations, corporate organizations, and all that. I see a lot of them working so hard to be where they are. And you all can also hear the discussions where they talk about how they are being paid. I remember a white man who actually came out to say that he is married to a black woman, and said that my wife got to work her butts off just to earn as good as her other counterparts. So all these are the things we look at, and we are like, man, let us be. When we are doing our job, allow them to do their job. Stop interfering, and stop putting your body, or stop touching people for no reason. You have no right to put your hand on that person. That person is not your pet or something. So even when you are trying to discharge your duties or do your job, make sure you are also doing it professionally, and do not discriminate, because maybe this person is like, the other person is not like worth being on the stage and all that. And while she was saying that, you could see how she said that security, and I knew what happened, and she knew that too. And it's between I and her. So, and you can see the emotions and how bad she felt. saying it. You all, I mean, Kelly, uh, growing up and all that, I've loved her destiny child, and she has never been problematic. I do not have personally, but so far she has never been a problematic person. And from the videos flying online, you can also see that she was also trying to be professional with her job, not until she couldn't hold it. That was when she said, do not try it again. So kudos to her for standing up. And I hope that security personnel, I think she deserves another training, or probably laid off, or get another job somewhere, because, like, she is not professional enough. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.